12 minutes now. Did you know that all 4 former holders of the Office of Inspector General of the National Police Service resigned from office for different reasons? NTV's Ngina Kiroi sat down with David Kimaiyo, who served as the first Inspector General of Police, and discussed a myriad of issues touching on the police and security in the country. Yes, sir.
What's your opinion about this trend we are seeing, or this spate we are seeing of police officers abducting others in broad daylight? Macharia Gaitho being a key example, a journalist being abducted in broad daylight. What's your view on police abductions that are happening very rampantly right now?
It is not within the framework of the law. Police have powers to arrest anybody whom they suspect to have committed a crime. And the proper procedure of arresting a criminal is there within the law. So it is not within the National Police Service regulations of procedures that there is a word called abduction. Abduction by itself is a criminal offense, and nobody is allowed to abduct anybody in this particular country.
Then what would you call it when a police officer or a DCI officer shows up in an unmarked car, pulls someone into the vehicle, goes somewhere, interrogates them, dumps them somewhere else? What would that be defined as? And it's carried out by a police officer.
That's why I'm saying that even the individual who must have been handled like that has all the powers and authority to be able to take those people to court.
Do you feel that the police service is more of a force than it is a service?
They still do the service. They still serve the people of this country, but at the same time, they must handle and deal with criminals. Because when somebody has taken a stone to throw to the police, or damage people's property like vehicles, or burn people's house, buildings and so forth, the other day they stormed into Parliament, started setting fire, started throwing chairs, all those bandages and everything. That becomes a criminal. We
saw Kennedy Onyango, a young boy who was shot and who died as a result of the protests.
I could be able to see an area where sometimes police have gone overboard, and sometimes others are actually within the framework of the law. So therefore, it is now upon the Internal Affairs Unit of the police and the IPO to isolate incidences where officers have gone overboard, and incidences where officers were actually restraining themselves in such a way that they were to use the necessary force.
From a security angle, I know there are a lot of arguments that Parliament is a protected area, but according to the Protected Areas Act, it doesn't appear as one of the areas that's listed as a protected area. However, from a security angle, do you think that the force of police was justified?
We must differentiate between a protected area and restricted area. And Parliament is one of those restricted areas. And what does that mean? It means that when an area is restricted, you must actually obtain permission to be inside the Parliament. After that, definitely some people were injured, and some people also lost their life on the process. So therefore, we cannot rule out to say whether police were justified or not justified. That will determine now with the investigation that will be carried out and get to clear whether the police were on the right path or they were on the wrong side. But on my observation, with my experience, and as an expert in that area of security, then definitely police were on the right track when they were dealing with people who have stormed in, and they went into rampage and removing some of those things that I've mentioned, which actually was an attempted coup.
Can we really say that,